Is it time to sell the news on Apple stock? They've announced a big AI overhaul, but after the news is out, the stock is showing us a bearish pattern. Why? Well, there's a bearish engulfing daily candle. Bearish is in the word, and this is important because the stock could be heading lower. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Apple announces ChatGPT to its apps, including Siri, and they've announced Apple Intelligence, every new AI feature coming to the iPhone and Mac. And to be honest, I was pretty bored for about the first hour, right? It's a 2 hour event. For the first hour, man, I was pretty bored. So I just showed you these key areas of support, but why do they matter? Well, they matter because we're going to get a golden cross, which means momentum's building up. And if we slam back to both these key averages, that would be at roughly 180 to 183. And it would also form an inverse head and shoulders. The other reason why it's particularly important is because if we look here to an annual chart or a 12-month chart, 183 also happens to be above the 2021 and the 2022 high. We're looking specifically at 182.13 and 182.94, or the pink line, which means pivot. So is it time to sell the news on Apple? Well, please make sure to let me know in the comment section today, because I'm sure everyone has an opinion. And I didn't really see anything new that was announced from Apple today. What do they talk about? A lot of features other companies have already announced, right? What do they got? They got enhancements to Siri, help you write stuff. Cool. Image rendering. All right. Apple OpenAI deal is real. Cool. That's it. All right. And is this really the guy we want to have at the as the number one partner for Apple? Remember, Apple does really good hardware, but what they often do is plug in software for it. So for a browser, they got Safari, but the default browser is often Chrome. And there's things like Firefox, Opera, and all these other platforms you can use as as a browser. And if we look here to Sam Altman, man, this guy's been he's been bending the world to his will long before OpenAI. And there's some really interesting things in this article talking about how, man, he seems like he's drunk on power, right? We were a day or two away from signing a contract with another startup, right? Whoa, right? This guy seems like he's been around for a while. But like I said, I am still not sure that ChatGPT is going to be the winner. Why? Well, there's actual other competitors. So let's just jump forward here. Competitor. Here we go. So it was during the OpenAI years that many of Altman's relationships came under strain. An early group of employees split over disagreements with him and other management regarding the safe development of AI, and went on to create a powerful rival, Anthropic. Musk started his own competitor. Musk was actually a founder of OpenAI and has derided Altman on his social media networks and is suing OpenAI and Altman, claiming they violated the company's founding principles and that Altman is seeking to enrich himself. OpenAI and Altman deny the claims. So, man, this is a pretty juicy article. And because he's in the spotlight right now, he might be the first. But honestly, I don't know. Is this Alta Vista or is this Google? Please make sure to let me know what you think, because I don't know. This guy kind of seems like he's power hungry. Anyways, if we look at the Apple story specifically, here's what's interesting. If it's going to be a sell now, I want to go back in time to April. Why? Because our system generated an alert on Apple, a swing algo or a weekly time frame, which has a window of opportunity of 3 months. If we look back to this alert, well, that's roughly 2 months. So we're about 2 months into a 3-month window. What does that mean? Well, I'll show you. If we look here at a weekly chart, what it basically told us is that we had an upside target of 190 and a stop of 166. Where are we right now? We're even with the sell-off here. We're sitting at 193. We had a high of 197. So our system gave us a 12% gain, and our target's been hit. What does that mean? It doesn't mean it can't go higher, but where the stock started being oversold from, right? Being oversold, it's now mean reverted, and it's no longer oversold. This is either going to turn into a cup and handle, or we're going to get back above that blue sky territory, or we're looking for a slam back down. And again, look at the number. What is it? It's 183. That 183 number is the 50 weekly moving average. It is our previous all-time high. It also happens to correspond with those key daily averages, notably the 200 DMA at roughly 182. So what am I really telling you here? Well, the window of opportunity is still open, but I don't know what was really revealed today that was not already known. They already told us about Apple Intelligence going into the event. That's called buy the hype, sell the news. And the reason why I say this again is because look at NVIDIA. Oh my goodness. Whoa. What? The stock went to 195 today. All right. That looks like something funky happened here. Let's have a look and see what happened to NVIDIA. Not a dark pool print. Again, we know the stock split today, but man, what the hell's going on here? This is probably some funky action from pre-split. If I was to just guess here, 121. We don't have any dark pool prints at that number, so something is funky here. Something's funky. But anyways, the stock is actually up today. It's up by a boot 1%. The interesting part too is that it actually managed to almost fill one of its downside gaps. Every green line here is an open gap on NVIDIA. And because NVIDIA has been so hot for so long, it doesn't look like Apple was able to steal any thunder at all, right? Look at its competitors too. AMD, it's down in the dust. It's down by 4.5%. So what I'm really telling you is that the market appeared like it was disappointed on Apple. If we go back here to a 15-minute chart, here's where the event started. Initially a little bit of hype and boop, sell it off. So that's what created the higher high. And there's your lower low. That's how the stock ended out. All right. Well, we've talked about Apple and NVIDIA quite a bit. Let's move forward. Why? Well, because this morning on our stream, we talked about a key note. And we were talking about how can we hold the low of the day? And we did. So if we look at the S&P, we'll look at these notes here actually a little bit later in the show. Let me just get through the rest of the stuff here. So tomorrow we got a 10-year auction. Let's get through that right now. So tomorrow we got a 10-year auction. That's important. It comes out at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Please be mindful of this because we currently have U.S. exceptionalism with the S&P up, the NASDAQ up at record closes, by the way. This is not a record high, but it's a record close. If we go to a line chart, that's a record closing high. Same thing for the NASDAQ here, record closing high. The dollar up, VIX up, U.S. 10-year note up, U.S. exceptionalism. And that was a note we talked about on the weekend here, U.S. exceptionalism. But we need to see some broadening out, RSP, XLF, IWM. We'll come back to that in a moment. Other stocks got included in the S&P today too, and they're happy. Let's have a look. KKR. KKR is closing the day out up by 12%. Sorry, 11%. Stock is happy. All right, KKR. CrowdStrike, right? Cybersecurity, booms, up by 7.3%. Pretty big move. And then finally, GoDaddy. I don't know who's still using GoDaddy, but hey, it's in the S&P 500 now, up by 2%. So there you go. The market is rebalancing. Nice. Maybe you should do the same with your account. All right, moving forward. We talked about this and we'll come back to it in a moment. We're bouncing around between neutral, right? 3 points higher than before. Markets at a record closing high. Let's see what happens. All in all, it's really the China stocks which are not doing hot today, right? That's Apple, that's Tesla. Everything else is doing okay, right? The $1 trillion guys, everything else. We'll come back to that in a moment. Part of why I think VIX is up today is because traders were already stunned by election surprises in Mexico and India, but now it's the EU. Macron from France and Scholz from Germany get trounced by far right in EU elections. Marine Le Pen, she's getting massive victory. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Is the pendulum swinging back to the other side? It kind of looks like it. So let's wrap the show up. So we know that we got the 10-year note tomorrow, and then we got CPI, the Fed, PPI, 30-year auction to look forward to the rest of the week. But hey, we made it through some of the first events. We got through WWDC, we got through the NVIDIA split. So now let's look at a couple more quick charts because we're talking about U.S. exceptionalism. And these bulls have been tested. But we got our final boss still to come, right? That's going to be Jerome. All right, let's go have a look. So all I really want to look at is going to be RSP, which is currently up by about 0.3%. And I'm looking for a key number. I'm looking for this 1 month chart. We're actually back above it by 10 cents. So maybe not a double top for now because we're actually back above that key area. XLF, this one is not there yet. We're still off by about 2%, right? About a boot. We're looking for a reclaim of 41.7 or that previous all-time high. And then the last one here is IWM. These are interest rate sensitive stocks and sectors. What does that mean? Hey, we're up on the day, but it's not really that big of a snapback. It's red overall, just like XLF. All right, that's it for today's show. So if you enjoyed it, please consider smashing the thumbs up. If not, maybe you want to click on the video on the left or click on the right and come hang out with me at 9:15 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks so much.